what the world is trying to hide. But before we do that, we try to get the Colonel in a good mood and play the best of the... shut up, Napster. I'm so tired of it. All right. We play the best of the sound bites from over the weekend to see how it goes. But right now we're going to see if we can make the Colonel laugh. And we do that by playing the best of the comedy that they seem to try to put up over the weekend and see if he'll laugh. Here is the Colonel's take on it.
Florida officials say 2 women tried to get a second dose of the vaccine by dressing up as grandmothers, which in Florida just means they dressed up as 35-year-olds.
The women, one in her 30s and the other in her 40s, put on bonnets and glasses and showed up at a vaccination site. That's how Bugs Bunny would dress as an old person to sneak in. But
Krispy Kreme is marking the landing of the rover on Mars by offering a limited edition donut modeled after Mars. It's different from their usual donut, which is modeled after Uranus.
scientists here in the United States have successfully cloned an endangered species for the first time ever. A black-footed ferret. They did not want to dip into the gene pool. I think there are only a few of these ferrets left. So they cloned a ferret that died 30 years ago. Somebody saved the ferret juice or something. And when this ferret came out, she was like, hey, let's grab some new Cokes and go watch The Cosby Show.
Not much laughing on that, was it?
No, there wasn't much to laugh at.
No. Jimmy Kimmel jokes, and if they were any good, they wouldn't have moved his show to midnight.
Most of those were so obvious you couldn't, the donut thing. Yeah.
And Uranus.
And, the Bugs Bunny thing, not funny. So, okay.
They fell.
Yeah.
I'll tell you somebody else who fell, an entire school board at an elementary school in Northern California.
This is great.
Resigned after they were caught making fun of parents for complaining about the pandemic. It happened during a virtual board meeting that they didn't realize was open to the public. Well, duh. One of them just said parents just wanted their babysitters back, meaning the teachers. And let's hear it together, all this vast knowledge coming from the school board.
Are we alone?
Yeah.
If you're going to call me out, I'm going to you up. Sorry, that's just me.
They want to pick on us because they won't.
Laura Lanier, just FYI, you guys have the meeting. Oh, we have the meeting open to the public right now.
Nuh-uh.
That's what Laura just said.
Great.
Yeah, there's some moronic. Yeah, they all resigned, didn't they? Now read that.
All of them resigned.
Yeah, as well they should, and the one individual there should get a bodyguard because she's been called out. So yeah, there you go. You're going to have your opportunity to F people up like you indicate you want to. So yeah, have at it. Bring it.
All right. Well, that's why we get such solid wisdom from the board.
Yeah, there's your.
And we're not talking about here. We're talking about where was this at?
Yeah, I don't remember.
California. Where else?
Well, I think it was San Diego or something. It's amazing, but that's the quality of people you elect. That's the attitude they have. I don't know how. You elect people, and it's like this infectious attitude of contempt for the electorate as soon as they get elected. You can see it at local, state, federal level, and I don't understand it. You get elected, you're there to represent the people who elected you, not to sit there and do what they did. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, some skinny little whatever sitting there. I'm gonna sure you are. That's right.
I'll pay to see that.
Yeah. Like I say, hey, line up. Q starts here. That's right.
Meanwhile, a United Airlines flight out of Denver had to return to the airport on Saturday. Captain, have you looked out the starboard window today? It might be a good little entertaining show out there, and you look out and the whole engine's on fire and falling apart and falling to the ground. But fortunately, everybody came back safely because one of his engines exploded after takeoff. Luckily, no one was hurt. Here's the Mayday call from the pilot.
Mayday, Mayday, United 328 Heavy, Mayday, Mayday aircraft. Yeah, United Denver, departure United 328 Heavy, Mayday aircraft. Just experienced engine failure, need a turn immediately.
There's a big boom, the kind of sound you don't want to hear when you're on an airplane. And I instantly put my shade up, and I was pretty frightened to see that the engine on my side was missing.
My wife and I were sitting inside the house. We heard this big bang, and then all of a sudden there was a bang and a crash. This object just rolled right in front of our house, right out the front window, trying to figure out what it is. And as soon as I open the door, I go, uh-oh, it's an engine part.
Well, yeah. You ask for scrap metal, you get scrap metal.
Well, it's bad, when you lose an engine like that. But you consider the thousands and thousands of hours that these engines go through. I don't know. They'll figure out what it was. I mean, these guys get in there and they can figure out whether it was a cracked screw or an overstressed wire or something like that. They'll know exactly what it was eventually.
Yeah, and they've already ordered all the engines of that make and model, I guess.
Right.
Are being inspected today. Or have already started being inspected to make sure they're safe to fly.
It could be a maintenance procedure process or something. It could be a lot of things. But I was reading. I read an article. Boeing, blah blah blah. Well, Boeing didn't produce that engine. It was probably, I don't know who it was. General Electric makes a lot of them, but Boeing specifically does not produce the engine. So
Boeing's like the general contractor, and the engine's a subcontractor.
Well, the engine's what goes on the Boeing aircraft,
right?
And Boeing has a lot of those engines on their aircraft. So the tendency is you want to blame Boeing for that. It may not be Boeing. It could be just some maintenance guy was doing something backwards.
Tommy, bring me the maintenance book here.
Yeah.
And don't miss any pages this time.
We need the left-handed spanner wrench on this thing, and you use the right-handed spanner wrench.
There you go. Let's give you some good news. An Italian restaurant in Plano, Texas, I have been there, called Bella Italia, handed over 500 free meals to people during last week's cold snap. For some, it was the first meal or hot meal they've had in days. Here's what the restaurant said.
Honestly, we picked lasagna and spaghetti because those were the two easiest items to cook here with gas. We didn't have power. We didn't have anything. People were saying this is their first hot meal in 2 to 3 days. And that's something that I can't describe. It's just like, wow.
So he did the 508 meals yesterday, but he's not talking about the 80 meals that he brought over to the church on Tuesday of spaghetti and lasagna. Not only was it good, but it was timely for people who are out of power.
Yeah. Well, that's nice, and that's what you got to do. You got to have your local people pitch in to help because, the Biden administration really stepped up, didn't it?
Yeah. In the kitchen with me, so.
Yeah, I guess, old Colt cooks with gas there all the time.
Then you always got one or two that got to screw things up. 2 women in Florida were caught trying to get the vaccine by dressing up as old ladies. One of them is 44, the other 34. It turned out they'd already gotten their first dose and were coming back for their booster shot. Well, they didn't get it. The police cited them for trespassing and shamed them pretty hard. It doesn't sound like they'll be getting any criminal charges, though, and nor will they get their vaccine until it's time.
You've stolen a vaccine from somebody that needs it more than you. And now you're not going to get your second one. And we're not even sure if they're going to press charges against you and take you to jail right now. This is a trespass warning. Not allowed to be here no more. Would never be around. It's ridiculous that you're here right now.
Well, if they got a shot at all, they got their second shot because they already had their first at the young age of 44 and 34.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think you're wasting your time.
Meanwhile, the feds in Cincinnati, it's a pretty slow week when a lot of flights are toned down or trucking is toned down because of the cold and the snow. Well, anyway, not to let that bother them, they went out and seized $2.82 million worth of cocaine-coated cornflakes. They've already put a stop on this new cereal.
Cocaine-coated cornflakes.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have a run on those, that's for sure.
Well, they're selling the new box with extra frosting on it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it was, extra cocaine. They just cooked the sugar out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And today,
and they're selling that on the grocery store shelves?
I don't know. It's in the truck at this point in time.
Oh, Jesus. Some poor kid, goes to get their flakes. And
one guy keeps going up and down that aisle for some reason.
Oh, man.
Today is truly for the dogs. I've already done this because it's National Dog Walking Day. So leash up, good buddies, and here's a little montage to enjoy.
February 22nd is National Walking the Dog Day.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Walk 'em like a dog. Walk 'em like a dog, sis. Walk 'em like a dog. I'm just walking my dog.
Want to go for a walk?
You want to go for a walk?
Okay, music from today. Today is also National California Day. Excuse me if I don't celebrate that one. It's one of the most mentioned states in songs. Here's a little montage of several songs singing about the Golden State. If you know all the artists, well, you are a music expert.